Look, self-improvement and self-investment have always been important in terms of development. A person is supposed to be more than just the work that they do and things that they have learned between the ages of 0 to 24, usually between school to college. Not that they did, but they should. But there are many people who did and who reached all the way to the top. And you see, one thing which comes in common between all those people is the fact that they accredit their success towards the attitude that they maintain in their journey to self-investment for self-development. So hello everyone, I'm Akshay over here. I'm a life transformation coach and a trainer, and today we are talking about the skyrocketing call for self-improvement. And you need to listen to this. I find it quite fascinating and quite frightening at the same time that a lot of us actually believe that we are doing just fine and we are okay and that we know all that we need to know. But we all know that one person, right? And that one person is probably you or me at this very point. We all know that one person who believes in that. But let's dive deeper into the whole situation with the coronavirus. Now, what we've seen in this entire situation is a lot of us coming out with our own breakthrough stories of the things which we realized in this journey. And in this journey, the realizations of how some of us are in the process of finding their light into their capabilities. Some of us have found it, some of us are still finding it, and at the same time trying to measure their performance gaps. While we are all trying to fight the virus in our surroundings by sanitizing ourselves, and at the same time the virus in our mind is slowly popping out to the level that it's become very much visible at this moment. Now I understand the very fact that people are having bigger challenges to deal with right now. There is a financial crisis which is going on at this very point. And now that comes into a global recession which is just awaiting us, in which a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, pay gets cut, and God knows what more, right, at the situation. So, but at the same time, in this entire past few months, which has been a crazy past few months, we've constantly been hit by this message or a text or a post of any kind where it keeps asking us to invest in new skills, learn new skills, develop new skills, don't waste this entire time of quarantine. Now, some of us have actually gone through with it and have invested in learning new skills and doing new things and start up with new ventures in life, no matter how small or big. Now, while I understand that the lockdown and this whole quarantine thing is not a productivity contest of who does better than the other, this isn't a contest or this isn't the best way to kill free time either. This entire process is much more serious than that. And at this current point in time, when we are undergoing so many changes in life, the need for self-development has skyrocketed. No matter how ignorant we are going to be about it, eventually it's going to blow up on our faces at some point. You know, as they say, the real problem and the real challenge is going to start only after the lockdown and the virus fades away. Most of us think that in the past 4 or 5 months of whatever we have gone through is going to be the most difficult and the challenging part of it. While I'm not going to take anything away from how challenging it was, what about the next few years? What about it? Now, truth be told, what is the one ultimate lesson that we all have got in this entire pandemic? And the ultimate lesson is the need and importance for us to be prepared for our adversities in advance. Now, don't get me wrong when I say this. I don't mean that anybody saw this coming. But the truth is, this isn't about the present scenario at all. Just take a glance into the past. How many people who failed to foresee changes coming in and didn't make the necessary changes in their life end up being miserable? Many. The very concerning part right now is the attitude that people have with the money that they currently possess. Now, it's very, very fair for people to be over analytical about where the money goes, because at this point saving up has become extremely important. Now, but the thing is, The problem where it comes with overanalytical is, and that's the most overly concerning part of this entire video, is most of us still don't see any importance, the importance of self-improvement, the importance of investing into our own self-growth, which will help us take over the situation of crisis, which will help us move past and rise above the situation of crisis. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, the lockdown, the lifting up of jobs and downsizing people could be a blessing in disguise. I think the world is at enough of people being locked into a system where they do things which they do not really love, at the same time living this mundane lifestyle where the objective is to make ends meet. You know how Earl Nightingale once beautifully said, the opposite to courage isn't fear, it's conformity. We're all our life has become a battle of who works the hardest in order to fit into some place. And while all we should do is to create, and at this time, it makes the best and perfect sense for us to invest our time and resources into creating our own identities first. Yes, I understand that it's an extremely painful and a very uncomfortable task to even admit to yourself that you may need to create and identify your own identity. Now, but again, it comes down to a matter of pride, which lets us allow it or doesn't allow us to even admit to that very statement that we may need to figure out ourselves a little more, right? But for that, I want you to ask yourself two questions, just two questions. Number one, who cares? Genuinely, who cares? Second question, what am I so proud about that even the smartest person in the world admits to the fact that there's so much more for them to learn and there is so much more for them to understand about themselves? What am I so proud of? Ask yourself. And when you ask yourself these questions, you will realize that your pride means nothing. It's the image of yourself that you created, not that anybody necessarily even think about you. I know it's a tough pill to swallow, but swallow it. The truth is, the fact that it takes a lot of courage to even admit that you need just to put your hands up in the air and just seek for help and support. Now, the thing is, the true courage and doesn't come without being vulnerable. And in this entire process, you're forced to be vulnerable and put your hands up and just have the courage to admit. And in this entire situation, in this place where we are pushed forward and everything around our surrounding is pushing us forward in the lane of self-improvement, and the process where the entire earth is rebooting, it's time for you to reboot yourself as well. Now, some of you may still be in denial, or some of you may be wondering, how do I reboot myself? Now, I'm going to offer you in a few options. Now, I'm going to start with the cliches because I have to mention it. Like, there's mediums like YouTube, there's Udemy, there's Coursera, and there's so many other Khan Academy, there's so many other sites which gives you a lot of free content and a lot of free things to learn at the same time, because money should never come in between, learning to yourself. Okay, so there are options. But at the same time, if you want to take it a level deeper and you want to get more personalized, then you could attend several trainings, which is conducted by a lot of credible people in the industry, depending on what is it that you want to learn. Depends on what you want to learn. But there's almost a training for almost anything and everything that you want for, right? Or if you want to take it to a level deeper, you can even hire yourself a coach who takes you a step-by-step system, helps you get personalized transformation, helping you create your own unique identity, and at the same time, restoring your sense of purpose. It doesn't matter who you do it from, it doesn't matter where you do it from. The point is that you do it. The point is that you start working for the future and stop looking at the present. So the ultimate question is, are you willing to take that call for action and shake off your rigidity? Repeat the pattern or break the pattern. The choice is yours. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. See you soon.